Hi guys! Today's recipe is going to be how to make the classic Hong Kong style pineapple buns. These are one of my favorite pastries in the world, and it does take a little bit of work to make them, but it's 100% worth it. In order to start off these pineapple buns, we're going to make a roux in which we combine flour and water and then just put it over some heat until the two ingredients come together and become almost like a custard. Once that happens, we'll go ahead and set it aside and we'll use it later. In a separate bowl, we're going to add half a cup of warm milk. Make sure it's not too hot because you don't want to kill the active yeast. Then we're going to throw in 1 large egg and the roux that we just made. Using an electric mixer with the hook attachment, we're going to blend those ingredients together first. Once those ingredients just start coming together, we're going to go ahead and add some of our dry ingredients. So this essentially includes our bread flour, which we'll need 2 3/4 cup of, our sugar, our instant yeast, and salts. For the yeast, you can use either active dry yeast or instant rise or rapid rise yeast. And I personally find that the rapid rise one works a lot better for me, but technically either or works. Then we'll blend those ingredients together using that hook attachment once more. And once the dough starts coming together into sort of a shaggy dough, we'll add in our softened butter. So we're adding 4 tablespoons of butter and we're adding them one at a time until they're blended in. Set the dough aside in a warm place and cover it for about 45 to 60 minutes. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and get started on the sweet crust topping that we'll use to make our pineapple buns look like pineapple buns. In a large bowl, we're going to combine our dry milk powder, our flour, our baking soda, our baking powder, our sugar, and mix those ingredients together. Now we'll throw in our wet ingredients, which includes our vegetable shortening, 1 egg yolk, 2 tablespoons of milk, and an 1/8 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Do not use vanilla bean paste, which is what I did, because it just doesn't produce the same flavor. So definitely stick with the vanilla extract. Whisk those ingredients together until just combined, and then we'll set it aside at room temperature and we'll use it later. By now, your pineapple bun dough should have risen a little bit and should be ready to go. So we'll lightly flour a surface and punch the dough out a little bit, get rid of some of that air, and then split it in half. Then we'll split those pieces into roughly 12 equal-sized pieces. And you can kind of do this however way you want. I just split it in half, and then I split it again in half and again in half until I got about 12 pieces. After cutting the dough pieces, you might realize they look a little rectangular depending on how you cut them. So I kind of just went ahead and reshaped them with my hands into sort of a circular shape. And then we'll load them onto a baking tray lined with sort of these aluminum foil liners that are perfect for the pineapple buns. At this point, we're going to let the pineapple buns rise again for an additional 30 minutes. While this is happening, remember to get your sweet crust out and divide it into 12 even-sized pieces as well. You'll definitely need a bit of flour because this dough is a lot more sticky. Essentially, you'll roll them into 12 pieces, roll them into balls, and then use a rolling pin in order to flatten them out into rough circles. And by the time that's done, your buns should have risen for about 30 minutes. So we'll go ahead and top each bun with the sweet crust topping. You might kind of have to use a spatula to wiggle it around a little bit because the dough does get a little bit sticky, but make sure it covers the entire surface of the pineapple bun. And then we'll use an egg wash. You can either use an egg or egg yolk and just kind of brush that on top of each bun to ensure that golden yellowy color once it's finished baking. Bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 25 to 30 minutes, and once that's done, you'll have these delicious, gloriously yeasty buns that are soft and chewy on the inside and crispy and sweet on the outside. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe, and I will see you next time for an all-new video. Bye guys!